Hey guys, welcome back. Now this is a very special video to me, at least. The Super Nintendo is one of my all-time favorite consoles, if not the favorite console for me personally. And Nintendo has officially announced that they are bringing the Super NES Mini Classic for release on September 29th of this year. And Nintendo has, released the NES Mini, and it's gone to sell really well. And they said they weren't expecting the big draw of the system, of course. And with the Super NES Mini, people were expecting, myself included, that they would do this. And of course, they have announced it for September 29th of this year to be released. And what's so special about it, though, is that it reaches the heart of many Nintendo fans, but also just gaming in general. It reaches the heart of all gaming fans way back to 1991 and when it was released in the United States. So for them to do this right now is really a huge move on their part, and it's far bigger than the NES Mini in my opinion. And we're going to talk about that as we go forward. Now, it releases September 29th, and we're not going to talk about all the games it comes with, but it has, for example, Super Mario World, Yoshi's Island, Star Fox, Street Fighter II Turbo, Contra 3, Final Fantasy 3, also known as Final Fantasy 6 in Japan, and Secret of Mana, for example. Now, the big game that they're releasing on the Super NES Classic is Star Fox 2, which is basically like a brand new game because the game was never released, and it was, previewed back in 1994, 1995 in a few different events, and a few different magazines as well had it in their publications as previewed as coming out for the Super NES. I believe they were scheduling to release it in holiday 1995. Now, the big thing that happened with Star Fox 2 was that it was technically canceled at the time because of the pending release of Star Fox 64 and the Nintendo 64 in 1996. And originally, they had said that they wanted to release the N64 in 1995, so it didn't make sense for them to release overlapping Star Fox games. So they basically canceled the game and focused their attention on Star Fox 64. And of course, you know how that went. In 1996 came and went, and 1997 came, and finally Star Fox 64 was released, and we never heard about Star Fox 2 again. So here we are now, 22 years later, 2017, and Star Fox 2 is going to get finished and released on September 29th. Now, this game, if you go way back to 1995, 1994, I was 14 years old. I was in high school or just getting into high school at the time, and this game was my most anticipated game of that year, and all the kids in school were talking about it. If you're my age, I'm 36, if you're my age, you remember that time very clearly that, wow, Star Fox 2 is coming out, because the original Star Fox used the Super FX chip. It was extremely well received, one of the highest rated games on Super Nintendo, and it pushed the tech boundaries of the 16-bit generation beyond what anybody expected at the time. Nobody expected Super Nintendo to be able to do 3D graphics fully polygonal like that at the time, and it really was amazing. So Star Fox 2 was using the very touted and hyped at the time Super FX 2 chip, which was used in games like Doom and Stunt Race FX, for example. And Star Fox 2 was supposed to be the pinnacle of that technological achievement at the time, and of course it never came to fruition. So this is a really amazing thing that Nintendo was doing for Nintendo fans. Not Nintendo fans of that just joined them in the last couple of years, no. Nintendo fans of old, guys from my generation, 30 years and above, people who really appreciated those games from the 1990s, 1980s. This is for us. So granted, it's for everyone as well, but this really resonates with the core gamers who have been with Nintendo for so long, and of course for new Nintendo fans to enjoy these wonderful games as well. It's an amazing, basically love letter to Nintendo fans, and I can't be, happy enough and thankful enough for it. Now, what's interesting, there's two big things that everyone should take note of about this release that makes this an absolute must-have to purchase, no matter if you own these games already on Virtual Console, some of them, or if you have them on emulators. Doesn't matter. What makes this an absolute must-have are these two big things. Now, Star Fox is well known for its trouble with emulation, on PC and on other retro devices. It doesn't emulate as good as basically playing it on the original Super Nintendo. So this promises to have, of course, perfect emulation for this system that Nintendo's releasing, the Super Nintendo Classic. That has never been done before. So having perfect emulation for Star Fox is reason enough right there to buy it, because playing the original Star Fox has never felt the same way in emulation. A lot of you guys out there may have played it and there's button lag, and the game just doesn't run as smooth. You know, there's a little bit more choppiness than what it should be. It actually ran smoother on Super Nintendo, and there's even some tutorials online where guys have taken the Super FX cartridge for Star Fox, taken it apart and modified it and upclocked the speed of the chip to make it run even better on original hardware. Now, who knows what kind of advancements they're going to do with the Super Nintendo version that they're going to have released on this SNES Mini, but chances are, of course, they're going to have near perfect emulation and no button lag. So if that's the case, which I'm assuming it is because this is Nintendo and this is their product, they're going to have the best possible emulation that is available to them. So this is going to be a huge reason to purchase this, because if you like Star Fox and don't have the original Super Nintendo anymore, like unfortunately I don't have mine anymore, I think it's in another place in the country with a family member, unfortunately, but I don't currently have it for some reason, which I wish I did. But if you do not have an original system, this would be the best way to play Star Fox, okay? Now, reason number 2. Star Fox 2, right? Oh, you know, of course, right? It's a brand new game. Of course it's reason, you know, to buy the whole thing. Yes, it is. But people don't know that the game, you know, they assume it was finished at the time, but there's actually a couple different versions of the game out there. People have played the full game online, download the ROM, and they've even installed the language pack because it was in Japanese originally. So what people don't understand is that the final version of Star Fox 2 wasn't really released to the public in a ROM form. There was one version of it, I believe, shown at one of the final events for Star Fox, you know, that they showed with the, you know, the general public. That version basically that they showed was the final version of the game that never was released in ROM format, and of course not in cartridge format either. So chances are they finished that up, they completed the rest of the game, and now you're going to be getting the complete version of Star Fox 2 with more to the game than just what you may have seen already on ROMs. And remember, people assume that the game was finished, but it wasn't quite finished yet, not the one available to the public. So this is really, really exciting. It's like basically having a brand new Super Nintendo game made by Nintendo to Nintendo fans in 2017. A brand new Super Nintendo game by Nintendo. Think about that. That just makes me so happy. You guys have no idea. So now my most anticipated games of 2017 are going to be Super Mario Odyssey, Metroid Samus Returns, and now Star Fox 2. It pushed Xenoblade Chronicles 2 to number 4. So Star Fox 2 is now my third most anticipated game of 2017. Alright guys, I hope you really enjoyed this video and a little bit of history there. Myself personally, no doubt you yourself have your own history with Star Fox that you want to share. Let me know in the comment section, and please subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you very soon in the next video. Take care.